My name is Dadano Apolia. I'm a student of ER and HRM 200 level. I'm the leader of Group 10, and we're here to talk on the topic Business Communication Skills and Strategies. And we'll be discussing the following subtopic: meaning and importance of verbal and non-verbal communication, listening skills, reading skills, speaking skills, good writing skills. First off, I'd like to define what communication is. Communication is the act of transmitting information, ideas, and attitude from one person to another. Communication takes place among individuals at different levels, which are categorized into verbal communication, non-verbal communication. Verbal communication, also known as vocal communication, is the use of spoken words or language to express one's feeling and idea. For example, a lecturer lecturing students in a classroom with the use of audio slides or video aids, such as the PowerPoint, to explain and make emphasis on certain points. Thereby, effective communication has taken place. What are the types of verbal communication? We have interpersonal communication and intrapersonal communication. Intrapersonal communication, this involves communication that takes place within oneself. It includes individual reflection and meditation. What is interpersonal communication? Interpersonal communication, this communication takes place between two persons. This includes dialogue or exchange between two persons without using any technological devices such as the telephone. And what is non-verbal communication? Non-verbal communication involves communicating without the use of words. Non-verbal communication involves the process by which people share information and ideas through the use of body gestures, body language, facial expression, eye contact, posture, and body orientation, space and distance, in order to ensure effective communication and to express one's idea.
Now let's discuss the importance of verbal and non-verbal communication. Our success as individuals depends on our ability to effectively communicate, both verbally and non-verbally. Verbal and non-verbal communication shape our interactions with others in businesses and interpersonal relationships. Let's look at the important roles verbal communication play. Verbal communication provides clarity. Many people can retain information more easily when it is presented directly to them or by watching someone in person complete the task. During an in-person or a training section, participants can ask spontaneous questions, get immediate answers, and fully understand the situation or task in hand. Create relationship. You are new to your workplace, and by speaking to counterparts, you create a new relationship. Only by making efforts to converse with others do you make new relationship. Increases productivity. Of course, without proper communication or getting the message through with the team members, it would be impossible to get maximum output. The team that works with good lateral communication and group discussion brings the best results. Now let's look at the importance of non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication helps in expressing our emotions. Emotions such as happy, satisfied, confident, surprised, eager, tired, stressed, sad, etc. These are almost all expressed through different body gestures and face. We are able to understand each other up on judging each other's expression. For example, if someone cries, it indicates that the person something is wrong with the person, or the person might not be happy at that moment. The gesture of nod shows that the listeners are in favor, implying a yes or a no for an answer. Support verbal communication. Of course, non-verbal supports verbal communication. Our body language supports the verbal communication. For example, a wave of hand, a smile might be very useful to explain or understand a particular point of view. Lack of listening. You are speaking to a team member and he or she is not maintaining eye contact while talking, then it shows that they are not listening. Also, let's look at the last important of non-verbal communication, sign of confidence. In the workplace, postures denote our attributes. When we stand upright and keep our head straight, maintaining eye contact with others, it shows that it indicates our confidence.
Listening is giving attention to sound or actions. Listening is being able to understand what others are trying to say. Listening is identifying sound and converting it into words or statements. We listen with our ear and our brain converts it into messages that mean something to us. The act of listening can be complex, effective, cognitive, and behavioral process. When you say it's complex effective, means that you're motivated to hear what others are saying. There are 5 processes of listening. Number 1 is receiving. When you are listening, you try to hear what the person is trying to say by blocking other sources of distraction. Number 2, understanding. It is important for us when listening to understand the message clearly in order to effectively listen. When you don't understand it, when you feel like you don't get it, you ask questions, raise up your hand and ask questions to the person conveying the message in order to get the full understanding of it. Remembering, there is no effective listening when you can't remember. According to Woven, it is important for us to remember every details when listening. Number 4, evaluating. When you think critically and analyze what you've heard, analyze the message of what you've heard. And the last one, which is number 5, the very most important, is responding through feedback. Feedback can be by words, or it can be verbal or non-verbal. Verbal meaning like words, or non-verbal meaning like it's not by word, by maybe nodding, by just your body language, just your head movement. To effectively listen, one must do the following. Number 1, focus on the intent and the purpose of the conversation. Number 2, pay attention to body language. Number 3, clarify and paraphrase information. Number 4, ask questions. Number 5, refrain from judgment. Number 6, give encouragement, verbal cues. Number 7, summarize, share, and reflect.
My name is Okaka Irene Amy Ngozika. My matric number is 190206108. I'm here to talk about the importance of listening. Now, listening helps individuals to adapt, to understand and adapt to their social and professional environment, therefore helping them improve their relationships in their environment. It also helps us in making decisions. I believe that good listeners make the best decisions because they're able to gather sufficient data to be able to make those decisions to benefit every other person. Because a bad listener would always make decisions on impulse and with lack of data. Also, we have the fact that listening also helps us to resolve conflicts. It helps us to resolve conflicts quicker and amicably. When a listener listens to both sides and is able to, put 2 and 2 together to make sure that, this is what happened and this is what happened, there is every possibility that a solution will be made quicker to resolve that conflict. We also have the fact that it helps in communication skills. In an interpersonal relationship, listening is inevitable. To be able to have a relationship with someone, in a workplace or your school or whatever, you need to be able to listen because information has to travel across 2 or more individuals to be able to, communicate effectively. Areas in listening. Any obstacle that makes it physically difficult to hear what a person is trying to say or deduce what a person is trying to say is a barrier. We have different barriers in listening, such as noise. Noise comes as a barrier where, you're trying to communicate with someone and you hear like a phone ringing in the background or machines running or airplanes moving. It makes it difficult or alters what you're trying to pass across. Have a language barrier. Language barrier, this is like a situation where, someone is trying to speak to another person and they don't speak the same language. That is a language barrier. It also helps in leadership performance.
What is reading? Reading is defined as a cognitive process of decoding written symbols to arrive at a meaning. Reading is an active process of constructing meanings of words. Reading is a multifaceted process involving word recognition, comprehension, fluency, and motivation. Reading is the process of looking at a series of written symbols and getting meaning from. We use our eyes to receive symbols, that is letters, punctuation marks, and spaces. When we use our brain to convert those into words, sentences, paragraphs to communicate something to us. Reading with a purpose helps the reader to direct information towards a goal and focuses their attention. Although the reasons for reading may vary, the primary purpose of reading is to understand the text. Reading can be silent, that is in our heads. It can also be aloud so that other people can hear us. It allows the reader to use what he already knows. This is also known as prior knowledge. With each of these reading components, they are equally important, and we have three of them. Reading is making meaning from print, so it requires that we identify the words in print, a process called word recognition. It also means we should construct meanings from those words, and that is a process called comprehension. It also means that we should be able to comprehend and make it look automatic and accurate, and that is an achievement called fluency.
According to Ellen Parry Lewis, reading is a vital habit for every successful business person. It broadens your mind, helps with your written and verbal communication skills, and gives you certain level of understanding. Reading can help employees perform and communicate better at work. The more you read, the more knowledgeable you become, and the subject reflects in your career. Successful people don't read for fun, they read to learn. Reading is a gateway to new possibilities and learnings. The mind can perform miracles and be conditioned for excellence when it's challenged. Reading helps you to relax, inspire, and attain greater potential on personal, professional, and even spiritual levels. Reading is an essential skill in business communication because it enables individuals to access, understand, and interpret information effectively. In the context of business communication, reading can be presented in several ways. You could be reading for comprehension, you could be reading critically, you could be reading for research and other factors. Reading is important in business communication because it helps the employee's ability to evaluate and analyze written communication. In business communication, critical reading is necessary to assess the credibility of sources, identify biases, and detect errors. Effective reading is essential in business communication because it enables employees make informed based decisions and based on accurate information and reliable information. It also helps employees continually develop their skills and knowledge and stay up to date with the industry trends and changes.
I'll be discussing on speaking. Speaking is the transmission of language through the mouth. To speak, we use many parts of our body to produce sound, including our lungs, vocal tracts, vocal cord, tongue, teeth, and lips. Speaking is the second of 4 language skills, which are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. The vocal form of speech usually requires at least one listener. Talking or discussing between 2 or more people is called a dialogue. Speech can flow naturally from one person to another in a form of dialogue. You can also plan and rehearse like a speech or presentation. Of course, some people talk to themselves. In fact, some English listeners speak alone in front of a mirror. Speaking can be formal or informal. Informal conversation are usually the conversation that happens between family, friends, or people you know very well. While formal conversations are conversations that happen between business or academic setting, or when meeting someone for the first time. I would also talk about speaking skills. Speaking skills can be categorized into 4, which are fluency, vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. Fluency is how comfortable and confident you are in speaking language. If you can speak for a particular period of time, that indicates a very strong fluency. Vocabulary, of course, if you don't have words to say what you want to say, then you cannot say it. Being a good speaker constantly means growing your vocabulary.
Definition of speaking skills. Grammar. The dreaded G word grammar does matter. The fewer mistakes you make, the better your speaking skill will be. However, do not worry about making mistakes either. A good speaker does not have to use perfect grammar. Pronunciation. Pronunciation is a complex area with many sub-skills that can be practiced. As a rule of thumb, the average speaker can speak and understand. Experienced speakers can use pronunciation sub-skills to emphasize the communicative impact of their speech and become more effective. The 3 general purposes of speaking: to inform, to persuade, and to entertain. Informative speaking is to increase the recipient's knowledge and understanding of the topic. Persuasive speaking aims to make the audience think, feel, or act in ways the speaker chooses. Entertainment speaking is used broadly to include anything that elicits a pleasant response, whether humorous or dramatic.
I was speaking on good writing and it's important. Writing expresses who we are even after death. It makes our personal aspirations, knowledge, and our work for the future known to others. It simply means the process of using symbols, alphabets, punctuations, and space to communicate ideas and thoughts in a readable form. When these cues are correctly put in place, it makes writing good and effective. Hence, it could be regarded as a work or career for someone known as an author. What are the importance of good writing? Good writing targets the reading audience. It could be digital or print, formal or informal, and whatnot. The importance of a good writing are as follows. 1. A drive for effective communication. Communication serves as a framework for every society. Therefore, good writing enhances a clear communication for collaborations, business transactions, and personal interactions. Secondly, it shows credibility. Effective writing shows that the writer is competent, knows what he's doing, and is reliable. Thirdly, it displays intelligence. Proper use of grammars, nicely formed sentences, and punctuation marks and correct use of words shows the writer's level of intelligence. Fourthly, stimulates response. Skilled writing moves the reader to response by evoking thoughts and emotions to actions. Fifth one, show of professionalism. Formality and professionalism can be displayed in good writing. And the last but not the least, strengthens relationship. Because communication is the major role of writing, good writing enables room for better relationship, better interactions, and friendship.
I'll be speaking on writing skills, and the features of writing. Let's dig straight into it. What is writing? Writing is the process of using symbols, that is, using letters of the alphabet, punctuations, and ideas to communicate to your audience in a readable form. A good writer must be able to express and communicate to other people for them to understand. Then we'll move into the features of writing. We have 5 main features of writing, which are focus, development, unity, coherence, and correctness. What is focus? A good writing must be clear and have a central idea, and each paragraph must have a central main point or topic sentence. Then we move to development. Each paragraph should be able to expand and support the central idea of a paper, and the idea of each paragraph should be able to explain and illustrate through using examples, descriptions, and details. The third one is unity. Each paragraph should be related to the main idea, and each paragraph should stick to the main point. Then the fourth is coherence. An essay should be organized logically, flow smoothly, and stick to the main point. That is, whatever the writer is reading, you should be able to fully relate to it. Then the fifth one is correctness. A good writing would need correct standard of English, punctuation mark when needed, examples when needed, descriptions when needed.